All right, game of the week. I'm getting to our preview for this. BYU at Texas Tech is obviously the game of the week for me. Kalani Sitake is to having top 40, recruiting classes every single year and having this team undefeated at this point, number 8 in the country going against Texas Tech, who utilized the portal like crazy, even though they do it every single year. But this year, it just seemed to work out for them. And they got a really good edge rusher. They got probably the best linebacker in the country. And then you look over at BYU, it's like the opposite. bachmeier is playing his ass off. Morton, hopefully they have him healthy back this week. It seems like he's been practicing good. Chase Roberts been there through Jaron Hall and Zach Wilson and Keaton Slovis and Jake Retzlaff. This is his 5th quarterback. Yeah, I remember interviewing Jaron Hall that one year. I said, yo, who's one of the teammates that we should be looking out for next year's draft? He said Chase Roberts. That man is still in college.
That's crazy.
But you look at David Bailey as one of the best edge rushers in this class so far. Got 11.5 sacks, and a lot of people are starting to catch wind of his running mate there in the linebacker core, and Jacob Rodriguez. He's got 74 tackles this season. Defensively,
defense last year.
Yeah, defensively, these guys are going to be insane against a really good offense. Kind of what's your overview for this game? And what do you think about both teams? I mean, both of us are high on the kids out at Lubbock, though. So
yeah, it's one of those rare games where you get BYU, who runs the ball really well, against the best run defense in college football, and I think that's really going to be the key to this team. And then you talked a little bit about some of the defensive players on this team. You talked about a guy like Rodriguez, and in my film study of Texas Tech, they're a defense who plays like one, and it's so hard to do that. Like 11 people, day one when you start to go over your gap integrity and your run fits, and you're walking through them. Hey, if the flow of the play is left to the outside, hey, this is what I need you to do, and you see it time and time again. What they
flow like an ocean.
Yeah, they do. It's poetry. It's poetry in motion. You talked about Bailey. I love Romello Height. I was watching some film of the game where they played Utah, and the fact that they were able to hold Devin Dampier, who we've seen light up pretty much everybody this season, other than these two teams that we're talking about now. But that ability, when you're a pass rusher and you're trying to go make money, you go get sacks. If you want to go get money, you go get sacks. And he's like a tweener linebacker, defensive end. I don't know what they'll look at him as at the NFL level, but the fact that every replay he stayed honest, bro. And it frustrated the hell out of Utah. So I'm a huge Romello Height guy. I look at both of these teams. I think it's strength on strength. You got a team that runs the ball really well in BYU. They're going to bring their lunch pail. Well, hell, Texas Tech couldn't bring their lunch pail last year. They're bringing additional rush defense in college football. So that's where I'm looking at in this game. Styles going to make fight. This going to be as good as a heavyweight battle. If you're a purist and you love great defensive play, outstanding play, somehow in the Big Ten scores get a little bit heavier but this will be one of those old Pittsburgh Steelers versus great defenses back in the day, brother. Maybe the Pittsburgh
Baltimore versus the Steelers.
Yeah, one of those. Hey man, 1st to 13 gonna win this game. That's what it feels like. But in college football, there's just always those plays. So early impressions of this game is that this is a strength versus a strength. Somebody got to bend and break, and Lubbock's gonna be crazy this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Lubbock's going to be on fire. They seem to get these matchups all the time now. And this is just almost poetry to what we were saying at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterbacks, the conference itself is going to be excellent this season down there in the Big 12. And it has been. Behren Morton looked sensational through the first 6 weeks before he ended up getting that injury. Hammond came in. He looked awesome too. And then now he's out for the season. So then Behren Morton had to kind of speed up the way that he was dealing with things as far as his recovery.
𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗏 running back to the field.
Straight up. And so I think, and the crew thinks, I think BYU is going to win this game. Don and Logan, they think Texas Tech is going to win. I just think this is one of those games where BYU, Kalani Sitake, that offense, they got a lot of skill. And I think 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is one of those guys that's just going to continue to hammer it in and find a way to win. They've done that all season long. They just found a way to win, You look at the Utah game, found a way to win. I think they had a double overtime game, this season as well. I can't remember who it was against. Let me go back to my notes here. It was a double overtime win against Arizona, yeah, because it was them and Noah Fafita was slinging that thing in that game. Yeah. So
Arizona should have won that game.
They should have, yeah, but the scoreboard said differently.
Absolutely.
There's nothing against behren, Morton, and what they're doing. That defense is actually going to be a really good test for them. But when you can beat the Utahs of the world, that's got otherworldly front seven. I mean, they got three guys on their front seven that are ranked in, if you like PFF grades, ranked at 80 or above all season long. That's insane. Arizona has a top 2 defense in the conference. They beat them in double overtime. And then, even Iowa State, who they put hands and feet on last week, they're a team that, not last week, the week before last week, they're a team that you can't mess around with their front seven either, and they decide to just do whatever they want to. I love Cameron Dickey too. I think he's one of the most underrated running backs in the league as well. But him and LJ Martin might have a field day on both teams. I think outside of the quarterbacks, they are the X factors in this game. Who's ever able to penetrate that defense and put up a ton of yardage and of course get into the end zone is the team that's going to win this game. But there's no better team that's prepared themselves to play a defense like Texas Tech, no matter how scary it looks, than BYU Cougars. And that's why I have them winning this game.
I love your breakdown of this. I think when I look at two teams that kind of mirror each other in some ways, both. When you think of Texas Tech recently, you just think of high-powered offense. You think of Zach Kelly as their offensive coordinator, Matt Leftwich, who's their offensive coordinator now. They're still putting up points in bunches, but they do have the ability to run the ball. So when I look at the defenses, strength, let's cancel those out. So now let's look at their offensive coordinator for BYU and Aaron Roderick, and then let's look at Matt Leftwich. If this thing becomes a defensive thing, what quarterback do I trust more? Even though Bears played outstanding this year, I trust behren Morton. When I started looking at the coordinators, what coordinator do I trust more? I trust Matt Leftwich a little bit more than I trust Aaron Roderick. I've doubted BYU a few times this season. Most recently was the Iowa State game, and Iowa State had chances. They were up early. It was just like it was a Matt Campbell special. If there was a game this year that was a Matt Campbell special for Iowa State, it was that game. So I think Matt Leftwich and behren Morton makes just one more play than 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and Aaron Roderick. So give me Texas Tech to win this game, and they're at home. But actually, no, this game is in Provo?
It's in Lubbock.
It's in Lubbock. So give me. I just don't know what type of game it's going to be. Like, do both offenses just explode in this game? Do we get that purest game? That's the part I can't figure out. But if it's a defensive stalemate, I choose Leftwich and behren Morton over Roderick and 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀.
I get it. I totally get it. I really do. Lubbock's going to be a tough place to play.
It's a coin flip, and I gotta flip these games.
It's a shame that this game is at 12 too.
Yeah, it is a midday game. It's crazy.
They're gonna keep the tortillas back this time. They've been getting fined.
I think some fines you're willing to accept. I think that's one of those things. Fans storming the field. We see it in the ACC, other conferences, they wait to 3 minutes. But we see it in SMU storm the field fast. UVA, I hate to bring that up again. That was the fastest field storm I've ever seen. I think we see more tortillas on the field. It's you win, you get tortillas.
Yeah, exactly. So the spread on this game is 9.5. That's
what?
Crazy. It should be closer than that. With
the spread is 9.5.
Yeah, plus 9.5 for the Cougars as the underdogs. That is crazy to me.
Oh, I'm about to cash that in right when we get off of this show.
Yeah,
That's
go
crazy.
put your money on BYU plus 9.5, man, because that's crazy. I think they covered the spread there.
Easily.
It's $420 for nosebleeds at this game.
I'll be watching it on my television set. That's crazy.
Yeah. So Moon's in the chat. What's up, man? He said throw the tortillas, take the fun. Everybody pitching $1. That's what I'm saying. I'll buy the damn tortillas for everybody and hand them out. Let's do it.
No bull.
But yeah, it's a shame that this is at 12 o'clock, man, on the East Coast. This, you guys in the Midwest got to wake up at 11. People all the way on the West Coast got to wake up ass crack in the morning to watch this game.
Right.
This should have been
I wake up at 6 a.m. for college game day.
This should have been an 8 o'clock game. I don't know what we're doing. But I guess at the end of the day, you didn't expect these two teams to be here unless you're a 1%er like some of us are. I wish we could go around and just like, what will we do week to week to change this to make college football more exciting? Because to me, this doesn't give the spotlight to teams that actually need it. Like, how do you look at BYU the last couple of years and be like, yeah, they're not going to be as good as they were last year?
That's crazy.
I think people put in a lot of stake on Jake Retzlaff and don't understand that Kalani and those guys make really good decisions on who they put in place to be successful. Like, they haven't been a joke since they've been an independent school. Their first year in the Big 12, I think they won like 3 games. After that, it's been hands and feet on everybody. He's going to get this, right? Like, even when they were in independent school, they were winning games and being ranked. So I don't know why people are so low on this.
I think some people just don't get it. They don't understand. We had an opportunity to sit down with LJ Martin. One of the interviews I walked away from just super impressed with the individual, like the values, the way that
I watched
he was raised. Like the kid is just super impressive.
I'm a big LJ Martin fan, man. Mm-hmm. It was him and Eli Sanders at New Mexico, who's now at USC, friend of the show, by the way. But yeah, those guys they don't get talked about enough. I know Eli's not getting a lot of burn because he's buried deep in that running back room, but it's a good problem to have for Lincoln because once he gets his snaps, he's crazy good too. So, damn. Does the loser of this game still make the college football playoff race?
They can. It's Big 12. This ain't SEC. This ain't that's what I think. What Utah has 2 losses. BYU has none. Texas Tech has 1. Now, if BYU wins the game, I think that narrative switches a little bit. But I don't know. If BYU wins this game, who are their last few games? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a loss is coming.
BYU has to play TCU, Cincinnati, and UCF, so that's a tough schedule to end the season.
That is a tough schedule. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I think both teams will still have chances. If you got a chance to play in that conference championship, you have an opportunity.
Yeah, Texas Tech plays UCF in West Virginia, so this is a little easier. This is going to be their hardest game.
Yeah, you just don't know what you get from West Virginia. That's the only thing. They surprised me with Houston this weekend.
Yeah, man. that Houston game pissed me off because I'm like, how did Willie Fritz let this go against them? You can't tell me that Rich Rod just got his stuff all the way together for this game. Are you kidding me?
Right. And he's had a couple games like that where they just end up winning a game. You say how like Pitt has looked damn good this year. They struggled when they went to Morgantown. So I don't know. That's just the world of college football, honestly.
Yeah. Moon says if BYU loses and both teams got drugged by Texas Tech, who gets in between BYU and Utah? The winner of the head-to-head or the team playing hotter?
I think that's when the schedule will come in, and
I think BYU ends their schedule stronger than Utah too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Let's check it real quick because I think they play some bull crap teams at the end. Baylor, Kansas State, and Kansas. Well, never mind. Yeah. Those are tough too. But if you had to put strength of schedule, it's gonna be BYU all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy. My man Jalen's in the chat. He said yes if the loser is BYU. If Tech loses, they are out unless they win the conference.
Mm-hmm. I think this conference only get one. And after this weekend, I was mad emotional. I'm like, the ACC don't even deserve a bid, bro. Like, I was so pissed off with the ACC this past weekend. But I think the ACC gets one. I think Big 12 only gets one too. I just think that's where we're at in college football right now.
Who gets the one for the ACC? Georgia Tech.
If I had to bet right now, Georgia Tech. If Louisville was 100% healthy and Brown was healthy, I'm betting with Louisville. I've been high on Louisville. Entire offseason, I was talking about Louisville. Yeah, I would say Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Yeah. Who you got?
I got Georgia. I got Georgia Tech. Yeah, I don't see anybody beating them. Like
me either.
And a lot of them have taken. A lot of those teams have taken so many damn losses that like Boston College is 1-8, Syracuse 3-6, Florida State's 4-4 right now. But you look at those bottom teams. Boston College 0-5 in the conference, Syracuse 1-5 in the conference, Florida State 1-4.
One game they won.
Clemson 2-4, Wake Forest is 2-3. So, I mean, it's going to be probably Virginia and Georgia Tech at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I think it could be Louisville and Georgia Tech. But Pitt's such an interesting team too, because they're just sitting there at 7-2 and 5-1 in the conference, and just like, one of y'all mess up, please.
Yeah, they've been playing well. I think if SMU didn't lose that, what was it? Who did they lose? Was it Wake Forest? SMU lost to 13-12. I think they will have a horse in the race as well. But that loss was a pivotal loss, and we both know that Wake Forest should also beat Georgia Tech as well.
Yeah. And SMU played Baylor and TCU, and they lost to 2 Big 12 schools. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I mean, if that right there, if you want to factor in anything, let's say SMU comes out on top winning the conference for whatever strange reason, if that happens, they'd be the only ACC team that'll probably get in because they already played 2 of those teams and lost to them in the Big 12. And so they would consider that.
Yeah,
that's what you consider a loss is kind of crazy, but I mean, how else would you slice it? Oh well, they played better teams. The Big 12 was beating up on each other all year, like craziness.
Yeah, I don't think people are ready for the amount of teams that may get in the SEC and Big 10. I don't think people are quite ready for it because we're looking at the G5 bid, and then you may get one. It's not a guarantee though that you get one from each conference. I think that's something else that a lot of people aren't keeping in mind. But the ACC and Big 12 are probably only going to get one apiece. When you just look at the landscape of it. So that's 3 spots. You got 9 more spots. You can get a 5-4 scenario with the SEC and the Big 10, and that's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see what the Pac-12 is looking like because I forget their records. Could they sneak in? No, they can't. That's kind of crazy. Oregon is number 1 in their conference because they beat the only person in their conference, but they're 2-7, and Washington State is 4-5. How, Sway? That's gotta suck.
Yeah, that's bad, bro.
When you look at that. He said Miami deserves in Cristobal we trust.
Oh wow. Who said that? Jalen? He's trolling, and Jalen said that. He's trolling, bro. You gotta watch people like Jalen, man. He's an elite troll, man.
Hey, I had belief in him at the beginning. I was even one of the ones that said, and now this is what people will do when they misconstrue some of the things that you say. Because I hear things to the grapevine. Oh, he was wrong about this. Somebody really thought that I was wrong about my take on Miami through their first, I think it was the first 5 or 6 weeks when I thought that they should have been ranked number 1 in the country by their schedule alone and who they beat. I don't think Ohio State should have been number 1. They took it as Miami, Ohio State. He's saying Miami would beat Ohio State. That's not what I said.
Selective hearing. If we're going to go off the same metrics that the college football playoff is going off, like there's going to be some hurt faces when Ohio State isn't the number 1 team in the country. There's going to be some really surprised people when they see that. And I don't think the college football playoff committee is going to make them the number 1 team in the country tonight. There's going to be a lot of hurt people, but it is what it is. We know, but we don't want percenters, bro. That's why we know.
If they make the moves I think they're gonna make tonight, I'm definitely not gonna be surprised. I'm not even gonna bat an eye.
Yeah, I'm actually, the moment this show is over, I'm ordering me some food, and I can't wait to sit back and watch my television. I can't.
With that being said, week 11 predictions. Let's go ahead and get through these real quick. Virginia and Wake Forest is such an interesting matchup because Wake Forest is coming in and just upsetting people on a weekly basis, but me and the crew got actually Wake Forest to come in and actually give give Virginia that first, that other upset. How would this make Wake Forest look in the landscape of things, though?
You would have to look at them with a tad bit of sadness, because you're like, bro, handle business versus Georgia Tech. The entire landscape of the ACC looks different. Yo, shout out to you and your crew, bro. Yes, I think Wake Forest will win that game as well.
Number 12 Virginia going down to Wake Forest. That's gonna be nuts if that happens. I'm a Chandler Morris guy, man. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt my soul to see. But
Virginia has some games that have went their way that could have went other ways. The Florida State game was one of those games. They beat Louisville, bro. That hurt my soul when they beat Louisville.
They're the Miami of this year. Miami was like that last year. The Virginia Tech game, the Cal game, like just go through it. It was a bunch of BS that happened at the end of those games.
And Jake Dickert leaving ACC media days, other than our time with Cal, but the way that his team was like, hey, if you're juiceless, you're useless. And he comes into the meeting screaming to the top of his lungs at 6 a.m. in the morning, and his team does it as well. Yes, I'm with you guys. Give me Wake Forest.
Memphis and Tulane. I love Memphis. I love everything that they're doing at home. Mm-hmm. My guys got Memphis, and I got Tulane winning this game. I think Jake Retzlaff and those boys are just like, they're sneaky on offense. Mm-hmm. They grab a hold of you, and then they don't let go for the whole game. They don't let you get up. Brendan Lewis and those guys have been sensational all season. And I remember going into the season, or at the beginning of the season, we thought that it was a shoe-in for South Florida to make the playoff. 100%. And then it was a shoe-in for Memphis to make the playoff. And then you see North Texas for what they're doing. We're like, it's a shoe-in for them to make the playoff. And then you have a couple other teams like San Diego State's making their case. And probably the hottest one is James Madison.
James Madison does look really good as well. I got something I want to share with you. This is Owen McCown. 31 of 33, 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I could not believe my eyes this past week when UTSA beat the dog crap out of Tulane. I have a question for you. Do you think some of the Summerall speak of him maybe taking one of these Power 4 jobs, like maybe all of their affairs is, and I don't want to say about a guy that went everywhere he's been at, but maybe all of their affairs aren't in order, because I didn't see that coming. UTSA beating the hell out of them the way that they beat the hell out of them.
I think sometimes the landscape of college football makes you feel like that you're better at times than you actually are.
Oh, I like that.
And that you should be more competitive in your division, and some guys settle for where they're at. And I think that's kind of where Tulane was until they got their butt kicked. Then they're going to come and play Memphis and play them at home, and then they're going to beat them, and it's going to turn everything on its head yet again in the American Conference. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you guys nailed it by saying that this is the most competitive conference in football this year. And I think there's another twist that happens in this conference. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the American Conference with just one loss in the conference so far.
That's crazy.
It's as wide open as you can get.
Didn't expect what happened to Navy this weekend to happen even. I love the Drew Metzemaker story, but I expected them to control the game, line of scrimmage, be able to run the ball. Blake Horvath just make a few more plays, but you're right. Expect the unexpected in American. I'm a simple man, bro. I don't bet against Memphis and Memphis. I don't care who's coming to town. I just don't bet against Memphis.
That would be my advice to everybody, but I'm going against my own advice this week, and I think Jake got absolutely destroyed on Twitter. When they lost too.
Did he?
And so,
I didn't know that. Damn.
And so
they don't come in focus. They are gonna come in focus. I give you that one.
Mm-hmm. So I got Tulane in that one. If Memphis wins, I'd not be surprised. To me, I circled this one as kind of like one of those underground games of the week in Arizona and Kansas, because these two teams are so talented, especially at the quarterback position. And I got Kansas winning this one. I went with my gut. I said, what does my gut say? They're going against the number 2 defense. Kansas is going into the number 2 defense against Arizona. I love Noah Fafita, but Noah Fafita has broken my heart a lot of times throughout his career, even though I think he's a better quarterback than what people give him credit for. But the Jalen Daniels experience has looked what we thought it would be if he was healthy. I just think they have one of those sneaky Lance Leopold, like like under the radar teams, like going into the Colorado game last year, losing by less than 1 score game, and then coming smack you in the mouth, right?
Yeah, they beat the hell out of it. That physicality was real.
Yep. So I think, Kansas squeaks this one out, but I do think Arizona's defense does show up, and, shout out to Brent Brennan, man, because he got a lot of shit last year. And I didn't think he was the right coach for Arizona, and this year he's got those guys together. So
they're 5-3. That's a tough one because it's hard to bet against Lance Leopold. And Kansas is at home in this game.
Arizona's at home.
Arizona's at home. That's tough. I think Kansas needs this game more than Arizona. So we should see from the opening kickoff them have more fight. I was disappointed in their output versus Kansas State. This is a coin flip. Give me Arizona. Why? Because it's a coin flip. I don't know.
Kansas was playing lights out to begin the season. Those first 4 weeks.
They were.
We were like, damn, hold up. Jalen Daniels is looking like the best quarterback in the country.
Right. Like people was like, oh man, like let me apologize for some of my Jalen Daniels takes. But yeah, they look really good early in the season. Spoiler alert, I'm going Iowa with this last game. I'm interested to see where you go.
Oh. All of us pick Oregon. But really? I fought with myself about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Man. They're a team that I hate betting against, especially at this point in the season.
Right.
Especially when they have it all together, because Iowa's defense is always so good, but this offense just has just enough of a spark to get them past games, which makes them really, really scary, right? Because it's, their defense is going to carry them all season long. But they have made one more play than other teams while being held down a couple points, which has won them games versus other years that they've, have had offense. You would have thought the 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 of the world and all those guys are going to get them over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that team this year where it's like they're just good enough on offense where Oregon's going to go in and be like, I'm scared of playing. I'm scared of playing this game, So, yeah. I'm taking Oregon in this game, and I know that Dante Moore is banged up, but the way that freshman quarterback came in and looked last week, he looks just the part too. I think any quarterback that comes in for Will Stein's offense is just he caresses them in that offense so perfectly. Pause if necessary, but he gets those guys ready to go. So,
nah, for sure. This is one of the toughest games to call. I look at Iowa and what they've been able to do under Phil Parker. He's been so key to the success that they've had there for the better part of a decade. I expected Tim Lester. I expected more because we started to see light at the end of the tunnel for this offense a season ago. I think they're struggling a little bit more than they should be struggling. I thought if you run an RPO-based system, you get a guy like Mark Gronowski, should typically be a match made in heaven. It hasn't been so far.
FCS legend right there.
Yeah, it just hasn't been so far this season. I look at the 2 losses for Iowa. Really close game for the Cyhawk game. They lost to Iowa State. The game versus Indiana, they had so many chances to win that game. One of the few games that Fernando Mendoza looked absolutely pedestrian this year.
That lost him being in. It's hard to mention him in the top 3 after that, to be honest.
I agree with you. So 2 losses by a total of 8 points against a team that plays outstanding. And then what they did to what I thought was a pretty decent Minnesota team for the Florida-Rosedale game, which was supposed to be a highly competitive game. What was it, 42-3, bro? It was a nightmare. This team, I think Oregon is facing this team at the wrong time. This team is hot, and they're starting to believe.
I agree. Yeah. The next set of games here, a team that surprised the hell out of me because I thought they were going to be one of the worst this year. Liberty's annoying to watch.
There are certain things this year I've completely just shut off in my mind. I can go to a Liberty game whenever I want to. I refuse. I can go to a Virginia Tech game whenever I want to. I refuse. I also refuse. I talk about Virginia Tech a little bit more. I don't talk about Liberty at all. That's like the we don't talk about Bruno for me. So whoever Liberty is playing, I'm picking the other team. That's how much I hate Liberty at the moment.
Missouri State has been absolutely sensational in their first year in the FBS, though. I got to give it to them. Kennesaw State, them, Delaware.
And I think the Conference USA prepares you for that leap when you go from the FCS ranks to the Group of 5 or, FBS ranks. I think Con USA prepares you for it probably better than most conferences. I think they give you more resources than some of the other conferences do.
Yeah, for sure. Missouri State has looked good though, 5-3. I mean, if you asked me at the beginning of the season, I thought that Missouri State and Delaware were going to come in and be bottom of the barrel and not be ready. And except we're seeing people, teams that we were high on, even though Sam Houston lost their quarterback a couple of weeks ago and things like that. But we would have thought that Sam Houston would have been at the top of the heap and Jacksonville State would have been at the bottom after losing Rich Rod, and now they're back at the top of the heap. And Kennesaw State would probably be middle of the road, and they're at the top.
Fingers crossed for Kennesaw State because we have season credentials there, and the Conference USA, the person who finishes out with the best record in the regular season, that's what the championship game is. So we're fingers crossed for Kennesaw. That's why Liberty, I loved our relationship because I went to their conference championship back in 2023 because it was in Lynchburg, So yeah, I'm pissed off with Liberty right now.
Hey, nobody gives a hoot, but Kennesaw State does. You know what I'm saying? So.
I like that.
All right. Well, we're gonna we got a prediction with Liberty on this one, but I'm not feeling comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right play. I'm just so pissed off. I'm bitter, bro. So Missouri State.
They'll end up losing this game, and I'll be like, I'm never betting on Liberty to do anything again. Man, Bowling Green has been an interesting team. Eddie George has handled that team as best as he could in his first year, and I'm highly surprised that they are 3-6. I thought they'd probably be somewhere in the middle of the road, which they are. At this point in time, they're not at the bottom. UMass in their first year in the MAC is the worst.
The MAC is just a cluster. Either you're 5-3, you're 500, or
you're 3 and something. Yeah,
it's just an entire cluster. I know I get on Moon nerves. Bowling Green is probably the team I get on this nerve mode. I'm like, yo, what's going on with Bowling Green? I thought Eddie George had figured this thing out. I had that conversation with Moon every week, at least 2 or 3 times a week, because I'm so frustrated with him.
Yeah. I think, on this one, we're taking Eastern Michigan. Not confident on this one. They're still right there at the bottom, but Bowling Green is battling some key injuries that they're trying to get through. And again, if Eddie George ends up winning this, I'll clap for him. I'll say, you handling this the right way. And I just hope we don't get down the road where he gets Bowling Green into a MAC championship in the next couple of years. Then he goes off to a school like Colorado or something. He's not going to Colorado, but a school that's was on the fringe like Colorado, and then builds them up. And then you have one guy that did it the right way, and all of us are like, told you so, versus the guy that kind of skipped the line because of his notoriety and his sons. So
just a little bit of a microwave for you. Yeah, I agree with you. I love what Eddie George is doing. It just frustrates me because this team has a lot of potential, but that's just the MAC. It's so jumbled up right now. Great game that's on right now. I need to.
It was the best Group of 5 conference for years. What the hell is going on? Miami of Ohio and Buffalo and Western Michigan are at the top. We're used to seeing the Toledos and Northern Illinois on the top. What is going on? This is crazy. He might go to Colorado. That would be crazy work. If Deion gets fired and Eddie George goes there and has success, that's going to be crazy work. He definitely will be bringing out all the rappers and stuff. You already know that ain't happening.
That's not happening. Well, it might. He is married to one of the singers from SWV, but it ain't going to happen.
He is? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They've been married. They had a TV show. I'm starting to show my age here. In the mid-2000s, they had a TV show I used to watch all the time.
I did not know that. Wow, that's a little gem you just hit on me just now. Hawaii and San Diego State. Look, I'm high on Hawaii, man. I thought they were going to be runners up in this conference, and they're still in the mix.
They're still in the mix. Yeah.
But Sean Lewis is making Coach Prime look silly.
He is.
I told people, I was like, he may have a down year his first year with San Diego State. They're going to win a conference championship before it's done. I didn't think it was going to come this soon. Yeah, San Diego State, we got them winning this game. Jaden Donegal and those guys, they're running the ball really well, and they're playing tough defense. They're really good. Even though I think Hawaii's good, they could win this game. I'm just a little higher on San Diego State because I'm just keeping on the train with them. they're going in and they're proving the teams. Their points against this year is the lowest out of everybody in college football, I believe, next to Ohio State. I think they've only had 40-something points scored against them. It's crazy. Their defense is awesome. Yeah. So we choose San Diego State. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I don't think there's a pick to be made here. I love what Hawaii is doing, but yeah, San Diego State is just playing outstanding right now. But in 2025 edition of college football, this would be a game where we're so confident we will win that Hawaii got something up their sleeve. But yeah, give me San Diego State.
Another game of the week to watch out for, a sneaky good one, Mizzou versus Texas A&M. Now, it's interesting because if this was the reverse, I'd be choosing Texas A&M at Kyle Field.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still choosing them anyways. I got Texas A&M. It would have been a landslide sweep, though, like in my thought process if they were playing at Kyle Field. But I'm not confident in this pick. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Mizzou is going to be one of the better defenses that Texas A&M goes against this year, and it's not close. They have the front seven to keep Marcel Reed behind the line of scrimmage the whole game, and I think that could be absolutely diabolical for him. But I think about the X factors in this game. 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝘀𝗀𝘀, not even on offense, on special teams, I don't know if they can deal with that. And then if he's not open, then you got to deal with Mario Craver too. It's insane. So yeah, give me Texas A&M in this game.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm really weird with my approach to college football. I've seen a lot of the 𝗕𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 kid this year, and I've liked a lot of what I've seen, but the bad has been awful, not from a play perspective of he gets in his head, like seeing him pace the sideline, and I'm begging over there, talk to him, get him right. So, and we saw that a lot in the Alabama game. There was something in that Vandy game about this kid, Matt Zollers, I believe his name is, who's going to be starting. Real wiry, wide-eyed, you know what I'm saying? But I believe he'll have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I think he'll bring something interesting to the table for this team. I think Missouri can absolutely win this game. I think you're right about the pressure that Marcel Reed is going to face. But I look at Mike Elko, I look at Marcel Reed, I look at 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀, I look at Ruben Owens, look at Mario Craver. I look at this team and I say, I love this team a lot. And is it weird to you that more people aren't talking about Mike Elko going to other places, or the resources are just so plentiful in College Station that he's not going anywhere else? Because he's done an outstanding job here, but he did it the right way. Get you a stud offensive coordinator in Colin Klein. Let him run your offense. Colin Klein should be looked at for some jobs too, because you've seen Kansas State kind of dip offensively since he's left for College Station.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a scariest job for him to take is the Penn State one, because he's from New Jersey. And he went to the University of Pennsylvania. So why are we talking about him going to Penn State?
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe the resources are plentiful out there, but Mike Elko don't do a lot of talking either. So he ain't going to answer your question straight up. He'll just totally move on to the next thing. He's the best coach if you were like tampering just to go tamper with, because he's not going to say anything.
No,
he's not even going to hint at it. He's just going to be nonchalant the whole season and say, I'm focused on the season, and that's what we're doing. But I wouldn't be surprised if we hit bowl season, they lose. And then the next day, you heard Mike Elko's moving on to Penn State.
I mean, he did Duke dirty, man. Like, I got some people that's shout out to the Juice Network, close with the program, that at every game, they said there were a lot of people pissed off about the way he left Durham and that he did them dirty. So
I had a direct source to Mike Elko. It was his cousin through a buddy of mine that I trust. And my buddy was like, well, my buddy is actually his boss. So that's why I was like, okay, hit me with that again. He was like, yeah, Mike's not leaving Duke. He's going to stay there. And I put the news out. I was like, yep, Mike Elko's staying in Duke per sources. And then the day after, he took the job at Texas A&M. I'm like, this son of a bitch. I thought I was like, I'll never be the one to break news ever again. This is dumb.
That's hilarious, man.
Lose your credibility, like, straight up.
Yeah, sources are weird. I had one with Colorado for a while. He gave us some good intel, especially in headed into the 2023 season. I think it was. We had found out some things, we shouldn't have known about. But he was like, "Hey man, don't say it came from me." I was like, "All right, I got you."
I got some good sources in the NFL, and they're pretty spot on. But the college guys, it's a little crazy.
It's a lot of hearsay. And some people sources may come from a message board.
Yeah, it's a lot of what did he say? What did he say? And then the last game here, man, Jalen Raynor has. I got ties to him very, very closely, and he's a very good quarterback, great through a threat guy.
I got to see him this year at Kennesaw State this year, believe it or not.
Yeah, and we're all picking Arkansas State, but Southern Miss is one of those teams that play everybody hard this year, and they win games that they probably shouldn't win. But I think Jalen Raynor's got his wits about him this year, and he's starting to put it together. So I think this is a close game, but Arkansas State pulls this one out.
I ain't mad at it. I'm with you guys.
All right. Just getting our bets real quick for the week. The spread, give me +1.5 Houston at UCF. What are we doing here, bettors? That's easy money.
That's real?
Yes. They are underdog going into UCF.
It's just a real thing. That's crazy.
Yep. South Florida plays UTSA. I think South Florida is about to put hands and feet on UTSA. -14.5 is not enough. The spread should be even more. I think Byron Brown is going to go in and do ungodly things to UTSA.
They had a bye this week too, didn't they?
Yep, exactly. After coming off that loss to Memphis, yeah.
They're going to be angry. UTSA is hot, though. But, yeah, USF going to be really angry.
Over, under. I got the over 52.5 for the BYU and Texas Tech game. I was thinking about taking the under in this one, but I think we're going to get to a point in time in the fourth quarter where it's just they're just throwing things up and making things happen the whole game.
Score or die.
Yeah. Under 55.5 for the Tulane at Memphis game. Like, two good defenses going to play each other hard, and Tulane's got enough of a defense to kind of shut Brendan Lewis down too. So, and he's their main money maker on that offense. So, but 55.5 is kind of a lot for this matchup. So I kind of took the under on that. And then my money line, I have West Virginia beating Colorado.
They will.
Like, what are we doing? Colorado has lost by 50 plus points. There was a sports book that had Colorado as the actual they had West Virginia as the underdog. I don't know if they changed that, but that's crazy.
Nah,
that's even crazier than
true
crazier than the Houston the Houston pick there.
That Houston pick is wild. Yeah, there's Julian Lewis is starting his first game. I think Dion has no media access for the players and the coaches other than himself. That they're a dumpster fire, bro. I hate to say it.
Yeah, and then the last one for the G5, I got Temple taking the win at Army. So
I love Temple. We have great ties with Temple.
So overall for the year, I'm 37-16 in bets for college.
That's fire.
I'm at a winner percentage of 698. I finished 4-2 last week on my bets. So
you better than what Pay call it, the ramen noodle express, man.
Hey, I'm trying.